What is up, everybody? It's your boy Brian from American Auto coming at you today with the rear end of a 1970 Challenger and missing parts and making parts and using parts. For those of you that don't know, this car came from Texas, where it was already being worked on, where the person just chucked a bunch of stuff in the car and sent it on. Apparently, the rear bumper brackets was not part of them things. So right there is that nice freshly powder coated rear bumper. And if you remember, the Valence had these spots here completely cut out on both sides. Well, we body worked those and made it all solid. Now, granted, that's not exactly where the bumper bracket goes, but that's where part of it goes. So I have mounted this on the inside here. Now this hole here kind of lined up with this guy here, but it was low. This hole here should, at this point, be lined up dead money with that hole there. Okay, now that takes one of them square bolts. We might have to bring it out some more. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out as I go. But we're putting one of them brackets on each side, and we're going to see where we're at with it and see how far in or out or whatever it has to be. So let's start with that, and we'll move on from there. All right, guys, so here we are. See the drop there, and there's a drop there. All right, so that's for my center holes there on my bumper. That little hole right there and that little hole right there. Now, that does not take care of that one up there and that one up there yet. So what I had been was saying is, because those are not the proper brackets for this bumper, although they're going to be perfectly, because they're bolted completely in. Now, I know y'all seen I had self-tappers in there, but if you look, that's actually bolted in. And we're still going to put a stanchion behind it here. To be able to bolt it all the way through both sides, so that way it's good and sturdy. I don't know about that hole there yet. I will figure that out in the process. Probably have to do the same thing as this one. But in the process, the circular bolts that hold the bumper on, you know, the ones that are not painted yet, are not long enough now, because somebody left the brackets off the back of the car and we don't know where they are. That being said, we have to make the bolts longer. So, cut the threads off of that bolt just because it's the right size, for one. Now this bolt is useless. I'll use it for a punch or something, but I got to do that ×2 for right now. But that, we'll clean this up and then weld that to that, and then goo, it's a longer bolt. And then guess what? It fits. So, if it was for a suspension part, there ain't no way in the world I would do this. But because it's for a bumper, this will be perfectly fine. And it's going to keep that bumper nice and tucked in just as good as the front. Actually, better than the front, I believe. But we're going to find out. And then as soon as we get done with the bumper, then we move on to the exhaust. And the reason we're doing the bumper first and then exhaust is because that big square right there where the exhaust pipe goes, well, that's where I'm getting my hand in there to work on that. These mitts don't like fitting in little places. So let's get these threads taken care of. We'll get this bolted on. Keep in mind, they're not painted yet. I still have to paint them, but we'll get it knocked out. Well, here we go. There's them two bolts extended and ground back down, and yep, nuts will fit on both of them. Now we're gonna scuff them up, get some black paint on them, let those sit and kind of dry, and that way by the time I'm ready and they're ready for them to go into there, we can move on to the next bolt. All right, everybody, it done went and got dark on us, but I present to you the tight, up close, best fitment of said rear bumper on the 1970 Dark Horse Challenger. And that's not scratches, guys. That's just dust on it. So, her tail end is coming together. Ooh, I gotta turn these lights on, see how it looks with the lights on. Oh, man. Guys, that looks good. In my opinion, that looks real good. Now, all we got left to do, I might see if I can't take a little bit of that curve out in the middle where that license plate goes. But, yeah, all that's left at this point on the rear is to put the tailpipe tips on. All right, everybody, we're back. It's the next day. And I stayed out here late last night, got a lot of work done, and then managed to get out here this morning to get quite a bit more work done. But let me show you where we're at. That tail end is together. She's all welded up and done nice. For those of you who don't know, those two beautiful exhaust tips are the full custom exhaust tips that I made. They are painted. They are all welded in. They are matched evenly. Just like that. Pretty much you would say a machine finish. And this right here is just dust. See? Just dust on the back. So the back of the car is done except for the trunk latch right there. But because I had to weld that, I had to unhook the battery. Unhooking the battery resets the ECU. So I'm going to get in here and set the ECU back real quick. It only takes a minute, so I'll get that knocked out, and yeah, we'll go from there. So this ECU works kind of like a Holley. So we'll bring it up here. All right, and let's see, go EFI initial setup. Engine setup. Cylinders 8 cubic inch diameter. Yeah, it reset. All you're doing is just scrolling up. 383. Cam wild to mild. Number 3. Rev limiter 7,000. Idle. Let's go with 850. 0% ethanol. Reset fuel learn. Tack or 2-wire coil. Tack. All right. Uh-oh. Okay. And then send to ECU. This is so hard to do with one hand. Because the baby is in here asleep, I'm not going to fire this car up, okay? But I know we got to do an oil change on it because where it was wired up before and wired up wrong, it was running raw fuel into the oil pan again. But I learned all this from Phytech in just a matter of about 5 minutes, okay? Which means some of you techs out there who are way smarter than I am can go in and do way more than I can. The Phytech setup, like I say, this is the Pro EFI. I'm sorry, Go EFI 4. It's the 600 horsepower one. They go all the way up to around 1,500 horsepower if you want. The setup is really awesome. Now, this wasn't even on a good base tune, and this car was running strong like it was. Of course, it was causing it to spit back and all that when the car first came in. Now it's not doing that. Now we got it taken care of. Now it's doing perfect. It's a little pricey. I still prefer a carburetor, but for what it is, it's really nice. So I highly recommend it for those guys who want to go fuel injection, if you don't mind spending the money to get it. We are moving to the inside until our other stuff gets here. I've got Dynamat on the way. I've got to contact the owner because this box is entirely too big to go in his trunk now. Probably should have measured that, but he just showed up with it, so maybe he can get a smaller one. Or he might change his mind and not even want those. Who knows? He may want me to build a box. Who knows? Anyway, We got a stereo to put in. We got Dynamat to put in. We've got wires and stuff we got to hide. We got to finish installing a dash. We got to make sure the wiring behind the dash is good. There's still a ton to do on this car, so we're going to keep moving at it. See you back in a sec. I've got to pull this tire off because I've got some work inside that fender to do on some crappy patchwork that was done by someone else. So we're going to fix that now. And go ahead and knock out some darkness inside that fender well there on that side, and we'll see what this side over here looks like. Yeah, we're gonna knock that one out too because it's dark or not dark enough in there. So we want to kind of make it look good because when this car is up in the air and the bags are aired up, you can see all that. So we want to make that look better. So let's get after it. All right, everybody. So now I'm going to say we're done with the outside. We're going to move on to the inside. But before we do, I want to fire this car up and just see how everything looks together. We got it set down on the ground, and yeah. So let's do this. We're going to hop up in here. Oh. Fuel pump on. Ooh. Get our gauge going. Cool deal. Just running a little rich out the back. Sounds good though. Told y'all this car ran good. Oh yeah. She's running smooth right there. Give her a couple blips. Steamy. But I think we are all right. Let's shut her down. Guys, I cannot make this up. I have to show you something. See that light right there? I'm looking at the AC controls right here because this car does have vintage air on it. Although it was never finished being installed. Hell, the dash ain't even finished being installed. But I'm going to go down through here and maybe you'll... Actually, let me turn this light off. Maybe you'll catch a glimpse of it. Do you see that? Watch right up here. I'll turn the AC off now. Let's turn it back on. Let's turn it back off. Do y'all see a problem with that? All right, guys, it's been a busy day at it. We got the car going together just as rapidly as possible, you know, doing all we can. And at the moment, we got the dash going in nice and tight. I don't have to pull that out because we found out where I left the keys at. We found out what the problem was with that dome light. There's two plugs that look alike. Okay? One operates interior lighting, which I still got to get back there and figure out where the other end of that plugs up at. Okay? But the other one controls the AC. Now. Okay. Anyway, whenever you turn the AC on now, I don't know if you can hear it or not, but that vent right there is blowing out cold or blowing out air. The vents are too. Now, a minute ago when it done it, it blew out a whole bunch of sand that was left in there, which is what all that is down there in the floor that you can't really see. But, most importantly, that light ain't coming on anymore. And, with the engine running, all my actuators are working properly. Goo goo gachoo, dude. So, a little bit at a time, little bit at a time, little bit at a time. All right, everybody, we're back. It's another day. Louis got that set of headlights in already. That side over there is completed. We move over here to this side, and I got most of the new ones, post in, and then it dawned on me, I might need to show you guys how to do that in case you're working on your own 70s resto mod deal. So anyway, we ordered a bunch of these pieces, which is your headlight adjusters, and you can see I've already got several of them in, but I've got one more up here I've got to put in. So now somebody might know a better way than I do, but everything I've seen on these is they go in that way. Okay, so the white part faces out. The screw actually goes in this side, not this side. And the only way to get them in there, and trust me, I tried to take one apart and put it in there to see if it would make it easier, and it won't. But you simply have to push it in there as tight as you can, get yourself a little punch or something that ain't going to beat it all to pieces, and a small hammer, and tap it in. And it seats really, really easy. So hang tight, and we'll put this one in, and I'll show you how good it sits. All right, so this is the best setup I can do right here. I had to stack you guys on a box and point the camera this way and hope you can see what I'm doing, because I have misplaced another camera holder I had that strapped to something, anything. It just had a little ratchet strap type deal around it. Anyway, so as I said, take the screw out, and this one is going right here. And I know you can't see all the way. Let me turn the light on, maybe that'll help. All right, get a little light in there. Well, wouldn't you know, that's not magnetized. Huh. How about that? Can you see that? Good. Now, we're going to put that just inside there, and you push it in by hand as tight as you can. Now I'm going to hold that there, take my punch right in the center. I've got a little bitty hammer, not a big one. That's just to get it started. Ooh, it felt like it popped in there. Almost. Just a little bit more. Is that in? Catch this edge here. Ah! Did y'all see that? That whole thing shot out like a rocket. Now we're going to try and put it back in. It's not exactly easy, but it's not really hard either. It's just, once you get that clamp in, the rest kind of, it just holds in there. But you don't want to hit it too hard and break your plastic. You know? There she is. One more tap on this side over here just to be safe. There it is. There it is, seated all the way in, just like the rest of them. There's two little arms. See those two little arms with the hooks on them? Those have to be seated flat up against the metal. And once those are seated all the way in, it locks. And it locks down onto the plastic housing which holds the screw. So now we're going to go ahead and put these headlights in. Now putting the headlights in is not hard. It's all a matter of knowing where stuff goes, right? Get my fat butt out of the way. Now, well, that ain't gonna work. Well, nothing works on here, does it? We'll just lay that down. Okay, so you see that hook right there? All right, that hook goes in this little spot right here, okay? So you want to hook that first from the back side like that. Go ahead and plug your plug in. Super easy. Super easy. All right, now at this point your headlight's just kind of dangling. Now, your screw has a groove in it. That groove goes right there in that slot. Now this part is kind of finicky. You want to get your screwdriver in there first. Do not use power tools for this part. Alright. Get it lined up as best you can. As close as you can. And get just a couple threads started. Now, we'll do the second one at the top. Same way. Slide it into the groove. Yep, in the groove. Screwdriver in. Now this one you got to look at from the side, because you most definitely cannot see it from the top. Alright, and you zap that in there. And then you zap this one in there. The reason those grooves are in there is so the screw can spin inside that hook without putting any kind of torque or pressure on the light itself. Okay? And that is literally it. Now we'll adjust it afterwards. Now, we got to do the same thing with this light. This one's got 2 prongs. Matches this one, right? Same thing. See the hook? Find your hook spot. This one is right here. Now also in this matter, guys, you want to make sure your headlight is facing the right way too. Because like in my blue truck, the headlights are upside down and all kind of crap. And that all has to be fixed. I think they put the wrong bucket on my truck. I'm not real sure. Those springs are just set in with the Phillips head screw as well. So you want to get the spring pretty much where you want it turned to. I want it right there like that. So I'll hold it, tighten it down, and that spring ain't going nowhere. Now, find my hook loop. Would you believe me if I told you this part is actually really hard to do? And it's only really hard because you're trying to hook that spring on as you're... There we go, got it. Alright, now that's in there. Same thing. Set that groove in. Just a couple threads to hold it. Same thing with the top, yet again. Get that one set in the hole there. Same thing. Start screwing it in. Get this one pointed a little out here. Might go up this one some more because you can see it's still pointed slightly down. All right, there's that. Now, in the process of doing this, I have lost that clip ring. Remember that set I said I got? Well, guess what? I need to go get another one. So hang on. All right, clip ring time. Or what they call U-clips. I guess it really doesn't matter what you call them. Don't laugh at my tools, guys. And start piecing this together. I need to get off the crate for this part, because this one does not want to sit properly. See how it's trying to push inward? We don't want that. So, oh yeah, that's one of the old U-clips. So we're just gonna change that U-clip completely out. That helps us out some. What do you think? See how far off that is? You just kind of got to work it in there. What the? That you do from a screwdriver. There. And just like that, the headlight bucket is in. Now we got some touch up to do on this, guys. In a couple different spots. And we'll clean it up and we'll do that with a brush. A small brush. But there you go. There's the insert of the headlight. And we'll paint them screw heads so that way you can't really see them. So it'll match this side. But now that that's done, we can set the hood down. And look at there. We have a whole Dodge Challenger front end. Now let's see if the headlights work. Yes sir, we got the headlamps and the little lower lamps. And that front body kit deal I made. What do you think about the front end of this car, guys? How's it look? Let me know in the comments below. All right, everybody. Here we are, new day, new mission. I worked out here pretty late yesterday getting this Dynamat, or Rockville mat into the car. I'm not done yet. I'm going to finish that trans tunnel up and the little side edges and all that. Get some more in there. But I got that done and got the trunk, inside the trunk done. So now, like I say, we gotta get back in here and finish up the trans tunnel up to the front. We also ran that power wire to the trunk for the amp. Still got to get an RCA jack. I've got the ground wire laying back there for that. All right, guys, we got one half of the carpet kit in. And it's going kind of slow because the way they had it folded up, it just kind of, yeah. And we got the rest of the wires ran for the amp to go back there, and so on and so forth. But at this particular moment, we got to pull that shifter off, and I've got to take the cable off of it, which means first I need to make sure the car's in park. Anyway, I got to pull the shifter off, and yes, you see my glue over there, the 3M glue, because I am gluing this carpet down as I go. Let me get this blanket down so I don't get my boot prints all over the brand new carpet. And we'll go from there. You know, I already knocked the bolts loose on that. So it'd be easier to come out. And I also have some painting in here to do. I already painted the ashtray right there, and you see how much better that looks. Now I need to go across the whole bottom of the dash here. Also, that Alpine is in, looking good as ever. And you don't see no wires dangling. All that's tucked up. Guys, we are getting so stinking close. I also have to run this microphone somewhere. But I also have to build a center console for this that's going to go way up under there just for looks. But it's not only just for looks, because once I get the carpet in and get shifted back on and start building the center console, the Phytech computer is going to sit crossways and kind of upwards at an angle right up under the dash there. And the air ride, I haven't quite decided exactly where it's going to go yet, but we need to bring it back like this. We need to put a cup holder in right here and an armrest right here, okay? And y'all know I don't build stuff out of plastic or wood. It's going to be metal. It's going to be fabricated, and then it'll be to where I can zip it in. Anyway, let me get back at it, guys. All right, we are back. Shirt of the day is the Freedom Chevrolet. We're trying to get the shop warmed up. We've got it up to 62 in here. The mission for today is let's make some boom boom. Thump thump. Nah, boom boom. Yeah. And let's finish getting this carpet in. We'll do both of those. I got the paint for the trim and the package tray, so we might be able to get that done today. But first goal at hand, we're going to get the speakers in the new box and get it into the trunk. And this box actually came with little legs to put on the front here, so you can face this down and yeah, make it thump. What did it say? I'll read this if I can get it open. Hang on. It says, new and improved rubber feet for down fire enclosures. So this apparently is a down fire enclosure. So, I don't know. Has anybody ever used them? Shoot, that camera's dirty. I gotta clean it. Okay, so to make this one easier, because these are all backwards facing and I'm not gonna stick my head inside here and look around the back, I'm gonna take these 4 screws out, push this one out on this side, and do the same thing on this side. See what we can do here. I ran the amp wires yesterday before I put that carpet in. Yep, there we go. Like I say, we just pop that out. We're gonna loosen those up, put the eyelets on it, and go from there. Actually, let me go find the wrench real quick. And keep in mind, guys, these are actually marked right here on the bottom, positive and negative, so that way it makes it easier for putting the wires in. But again, just like we did the last one, we're just gonna loosen those up just a little bit. And this one, taking it out like that makes it a little easier. There's a felt on the back of there for it to seal as well. Just like that. And again, that whole thing turns, so you want to make sure you keep it straight right there. Hold it where it needs to be. Put it down to 200 foot-pounds. And done. So I'm going to knock this out and I'll bring you guys back in just one second. Guys, they're in there. It's all set up, ready to go. I know it's upside down, but we went ahead and put these legs on. And the reason being is because we want this box to sit as flush to the bottom of the carpet as possible. And that's, you see we got these knockouts in this and on both sides here. So I might have to take the one leg off for it to sit flush there and for the other leg to hold it right here. But either way, it's going to sit in here nicely. All right, everybody, it's installed. Amp's installed. We mounted an amp on the back side of it over on that corner so we can hide the rest of these wires as best as possible. Speaker box sounds pretty daggone good for what it is. I mean, it's not going to quake the earth. But now I've got to run this wire back through there, back up to the front, because yet the car with 1,000 remotes, we're adding yet another remote control to the inside of this car. So that gives him like 4 or 5 now, 6, I don't know. He's going to have to get one of them big Master TV remotes just to control everything on this car. But anyway, so yeah, we're going to get that ran up here real quick, get it set to where we can put it where we want it, shut the trunk down, and finish getting this carpet. All right, ladies and gents, we've managed to get the shifter cable through the carpet. The carpet is in as far as it needs to go. I had to cut 3 inches off of it to be able to even slide it into where it's supposed to go. But you see how wrinkled it is? I've had it sitting out with something on it inside the heated shop here for 2-3 days now. So now we're going to resort to plan B. So we're going to plug that up and let it get to steaming and see if we can't get some of these wrinkles out. So I'll bring you back in just a minute. Let's see how it works. If it works good, I'll just see how it works. So now we're getting the new carpet all the way in. And I did steam on that a little bit, but we'll do some more here once I can get some more pressure on it and some more tension on it. We've got this shoved all the way down into the corner to where it's going to sit with a bolt run through the hole there. And the reason that bolt's there is because you're not going to put your seat in and out trying to, get all your holes put in. Now, how you put your holes into your carpet once you get it where you want it, okay? This back laid down really nice, by the way. Yep, most of it over there, but this carpet comes somewhat pre-molded, guys. So, like this ridge here is supposed to be here. All right. It's got a lump right here that's supposed to be here. This lump right here that's supposed to be here. All right, and this lump right here is actually, ta-da, your seat hole, okay? That's why that lump is there. It's got a little ridge right here because there's actually a step back there, okay? Now, we had to cut 3 inches off the front of the carpet just to get it up in here enough for it to match up with the back half of the carpet, which was already put in along that edge. So now we're in the right place. I know we're in the right place. We had to cut that little hole in right there. I know that doesn't look good, but it's okay. And we went ahead and got the shifter mounted in. Now this part up here looks funky. There ain't but so much you can do with it, right? But in the end, it's going to lay down and be nice. You got to remember, we're putting a center console in this car. And once I get the back seats in and the front seats in, I can start taking measurements for that because we don't want the center console going all the way back to there. There's no reason for that. So we're going to stop the center console right even with the back of the seats. But before we get to there, we need to finish getting our holes in the carpet. Now, the rear holes are already in. Rear. Uh-oh. Yep. I think I missed a hole somewhere. I did. Did I get this side? No, sir. Sure didn't. So, that's fine. Oh, I did get... No, I didn't. Okay. So, now I got to get that extra hole in there. So, let's find it and get it shoved in. So, the best way I have found to get the holes in is, once you get your carpet laid, you get some of them in. We got the seat belt bracket hole already in back here. Got this seat hole in here. And you feel around under the carpet till you find it. And I like to use just a little scribe and poke through. And while that's there, that's actually marking my hole, okay? Because what we're going to do next is that little propane torch and this chisel. We're going to heat that chisel up. We're going to pull that out. And we're going to melt through the carpet right there. And poke a bolt through it to hold it, okay? We're going to do the same on all of them. And the reason you do it that way is because instead of trying to cut a hole in, this melts the edges so it don't fray. It's the best way to do it. That's the way I've always done it in all couple carpet kits I've put in the past. And that's how Vice Grip Garage does it. So, heat up your chisel, poke it through, watch it smoke. And guys, I only have one hand to do this, so I'm gonna see if I can set y'all down here somewhere. Maybe like that, I hope. Maybe you can see that. And incoming. See how that set right in? Now's where the bolt hole comes through at. And guys, I don't know if you can see this or not. I had to lean my phone up on the inside of the car and I can't see. So now, we'll pull that out. Set it on the concrete. Put your bolt through. And slide under the car and put a nut on it. All right, everybody, it's been a day. That was that black package tray that came in. You can still see a little shine on it. It's still drying at the moment. We got it painted, and I'll show you why we got it painted. Oh, boom, 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 boom. Yep. We getting there. We're getting there. I still got to trim this out and get it ready for sill plates. Got to trim out for the dead leg and start getting ready to get the seats in so I can build. Actually, I can go ahead and put the seats in now. May go ahead and just do that. Let's get the seats in, then we'll worry about sill plates. See what else is in there? Got the seat belts in. Got that cut in right where it's supposed to be. Got the one on the other side. So, yeah. We rocking and rolling. Getting it going. So, it's starting to look like a car. We'll have it done here soon. All right, guys. Here we are. Black carpet in. Still got to put the sill plates on the doors, but I got to clean those and paint those. Black carpet is in all the way around. Seats are in. Maybe do some cleanup on it. Put the handles on. I still got to set this back filler panel right here. Has to go in still. But to do that, I've got to take the back seat back out, pull these two pieces here out on each side, and this has to lay down. But before I do that, I've got to pull the 6x9s back out and put them in from underneath. But that's all well and good. Gonna be easy to do. But the interior is in, seats are in. Yeah, this car's coming together quick, guys. So now I get to get my measurements in between there and start building me a center console once I put the door seals on. But we'll see that in the next video, okay? Because that's gonna do it for this one. I'm tired. It's been days of it. I'm wore out. I'm beat. This car has kicked my behind yet again. But on the other end of it, it's starting to look like a car. Check it out. I'm pretty proud of it. I'm proud of my work, you know. Everything that's went into it has been a lot. It's just something pretty magnificent when you can look at everything that you put together solely by your own two hands with absolutely zero help on this job. So I still got to put the trim in. I've got the headliner over there to go in. I've got to make a bow for the top. But yeah, I think it's turning out quite well, guys. Front end's up in the air right now, which turn a key, push a button, and we're gonna slam that back on the ground. Just so tomorrow when I come out and look at it, it will be just as awesome as ever. So yeah, guys, I think it turned out quite well. So anyway, time to clean up my mess, slam this bitch down, and let's get rolling. I will bring you guys back on the next one. If you haven't already, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. And if you have, then just keep watching. Tell your friends. Tell your family members. Help us get this channel to 1,000, guys. We're so close. Also, head over and check out Top Notch Trees 23 and Carter's Powder Coating, or Carter's Drag Racing, not Powder Coating. Carter's Drag Racing and Golden Rust or Bust, and you know all the rest of them. And guys, like I always tell you, remember, if it doesn't challenge you, it don't change you. If you feel like you want to do something, do it. Put your hands to work. If you mess it up, you can always fix it. Unless you break a mirror. There ain't no fixing that. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.